Well, hello there. It's Friday night. Gonna do the clutch on the bike this weekend. I was gonna wait till tomorrow, but I'm very impatient and I don't want to wait. So it's Friday night and I'm gonna get it done. So we gotta get started. I already started and took the running board off and the back running board off, and now we gotta get that oil drain and primary cover off and see what happens. But first and foremost, I need a beer. Alright, well, hopefully it don't take too many of them to get the job done. So now we're gonna get started. Get that drain plug out and get it draining. See how it goes. Alright, had to pause that for a minute. There was a little bit of cursing going on. That plug's been stripped out for a while. Wasn't totally rounded, but enough so I had to hammer in an Allen wrench. But thank God I got a new plug finally. And when we put it back together, we'll be putting the new one in for sure. So hopefully now it comes out. Alright, I got it on the run now. Had to get a bigger hammer. What sucks is I just changed the primary fluid in this thing. I just changed all the fluids not too long ago. The O-ring's pretty well shot on this thing, on this plug. A little bit of metal filing in there. Not good, but hopefully it's just normal wear because the clutches are so shot. So we'll see. Get that oil out of there and start taking the bolts out. Get that cover off. See how it goes. Alright, I'm just going around breaking these loose with a little 1/4-inch breaker bar and my Allen head. I like to use the little breaker bar because I've destroyed more 1/4-inch ratchets than I care to tell you about. So they're all broke loose, still draining some oil, but I'll start taking some of the top ones out. Leave the very top one for last, so it hangs onto the cover there for me. But hopefully that oil will get drained out here and get that cover off. I'll back a few of these out. So I got a little trick I learned from watching videos of VP Customs actually on YouTube. So take the bolts out. You got to draw yourself a little picture of the primary cover. Quite an artist, aren't I? And drill out the holes where they are approximately. And then when you take your bolt out, you put it in that hole. So when you put it back together, all your bolts go right back where they came from. Good idea. Thanks, Tanya and Eric. I got most of the screws out now. I'm just trying to get this black cover over the inner primary off, and of course there's all the screws are different sizes, so nothing's ever easy. But anyway, so my back tire and the gasket kit for this project was supposed to be here. I ordered it from JP Cycles and didn't come yet. But I wasn't not going to do this clutch. The tire I'll get by, but I have to get this clutch done. And so luckily, between my house and work, I go by the Harley dealer every day. So I stopped on my way home, and luckily they had a gasket for the primary cover and a new plug for the primary. So shout out to Somerville Harley Davidson. Thank you. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this till this other stuff came, and that would drive me nuts. I'd be driving down to Low Country, which is 20 minutes down the road, but just the point. Usually JP Cycle's pretty good about shipping stuff, but I don't think they dropped the ball. I think FedEx dropped the ball. But regardless, the stuff ain't here yet. Alright, one more screw and that cover will come off. Oil's almost done draining out, so I'm going to pull a few more of those bolts out and hopefully get it off there. So the other reason why I didn't wait till tomorrow, Saturday, to do this is here in Somerville, South Carolina, it's going to be 80 degrees. That's going to be running. So we're going to get her done tonight one way or another. Alright, I just got this inner primary cover off. This used to be chrome. I had it powder coated because there was way too much chrome on this bike. So, but it's off. I'll set that aside. I got one more screw to pull out, and then give that cover a tap, and some more oil is going to come out. Probably make a mess all over the floor, and that'll be that. Let's see what happens. Probably saying, why doesn't he use a battery operated ratchet? I don't have one. Do it the old fashioned way. And I know I'm not going to break nothing. I have a tendency to do that. Okay, there's the last screw in my fancy dancy VP Customs cardboard cutout. Works like a charm now. All those bolts are going to go right back where they came from. So, great idea. So that's it. Let's give this a little tap. See what happens. Oh yeah, it's ready to come out. Another catch pan over here just in case. Try to catch most of it. There goes my diaper. Oh well, here goes nothing. There it is. One primary cover off. Looks pretty good in there. Let's set this aside and clean that up later. Alright, now I probably should have done this before, but I've got to back the clutch cable off, and then I believe back the clutch adjustment off, and start taking things apart. But I'm going to get a flashlight and take a good look in there. I think my chain might be a smidge loose, but we'll adjust that when we put it all back together. So we can go grab a flashlight and see what it looks like in there. Alright, we got the clutch all backed off. I believe, if I remember right, I got to take the clutch adjustment screw all the way out. I'm going to just take it partially out for now so nothing comes flying out at me when I start taking this other stuff apart. But everything else looks good in there. The previous owner of this bike, older guy, took great care of it, so I'm sure everything was up to par when I bought it, that's for sure. But she's getting a little love today. Alright, well, I got it mostly apart. Here's the clutch here. Trying to keep it all somewhat intact, just in case. And I want to check out a couple of these. I still feel like they've got life on them. I don't know why it was slipping so bad. I feel like they're good. I don't know. I'm not an expert mechanic, so I don't know, but I don't understand. They seem real good. It was just terribly out of adjustment. I don't know. These don't seem like they're worn too bad though. We're going to change it anyway, just because I have the new one. And it's a high performance one. But I don't know. It seems like it's still good. We're going to keep it all intact, and just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and take that clutch adjustment screw all the way out now, because I think that has to go into the new thing that I got. But we'll see. Alright, it's all apart. These two last rings, they said was important to make sure they're out, because I guess that's the point of the extra plate in the new clutch kit. So you don't need these. So we got it out. We're gonna keep everything though, just in case this dire emergency. This clutch could always be put back in. Like I said, I don't think it's totally worn out. I'm not sure if it was because it was so out of adjustment, or because the tire is getting so bad that when I'm cranking on it, it's just spinning the tire. Feels like the clutch is slipping. I'm not sure. But better safe than sorry, I guess. Put a little more high performance stuff in there, because everybody knows I'm not gentle. So, alright, I gotta go find a bowl to soak these new clutch plates in, and we'll get to putting it back together. Alright, so we got the clutch soaking, the plate soaking. So, I'm a little stressed out here. It's my first time doing this. And like I said before, I'm not a mechanic, so to say, but with YouTube and an owner's manual, you can figure out anything. And it's a good learning experience, so you should get to know your bike. I've had this bike for a long time. I should have already been into this by now, but I don't know what kind of clutch that was, if that was a stock clutch, but looks like it's in good shape to me, and if it took the abuse I put it through, pretty damn good parts. But I drink to that. So hopefully I can get it put back together right and everything goes smooth and correct. I don't want to have anything screwed up. My friends back home in New York or watch this, they'll probably say, oh my God, what's he doing? Why is he doing it like that? I could use Brian and Mike right now. Oh, and Butch, especially Butch. He used to be a Harley mechanic for 25 years, so he'd probably already have this done. But if I screwed up, he'll be calling me if he sees this video. Hey, take that back apart. You fucked it up. So, we'll see. If I run into a problem, I'll just call him anyway, like I always do. We'll see. So, a couple things. The one video I watched, I don't know if it was Doc Harley or who it was, but said to let them plates soak overnight. Seen a lot of other things that say just 15-20 minutes or whatever, and what the directions say, so I'm not gonna let it soak overnight. So we're gonna give it a few minutes and get it put back together. Hope for the best. Alright, I guess everything looks good. I adjusted the lash and the chain a little bit. Should be about 5/8. I think I'm pretty good right there. So clutches have sat long enough. I'm gonna take them out of the oil and start putting back together, I guess. Hope for the best. Now this has that extra plate, so you gotta start with that one. And then it's friction plate after that. So here goes. Everything's good and saturated with oil, so shouldn't have any problems with air. Everything slides in good. Oh. Alright, got that first plate in. First friction plate. These plates are stuck right together. Hang them right on there. It fits right in there perfect. Just like it was made for it. So far, it's all sliding together nicely. Only 3 plates into it out of 22. That's the tricky part of me putting that new conversion kit on. But just like everything else, we'll figure it out. In case anybody's wondering, I use the AMSOIL V-Twin oil. I use it in everything, all 3 holes. I don't know where my bottle went, but it's full synthetic V-Twin. Seems to do good by me, so that's what I got this soaking in. Nice fresh clean quart, so I buy this stuff by the case. It's cheaper that way, and then I always have it on hand whenever I want to change my oil. Guess there's really no way you can screw this up other than forgetting to put a plate in or something, but it seems to be pretty simple. If I can figure it out, it's got to be simple. A little messy, but I'm not wiping any of the excess oil off. Somewhere it did say to wipe a little bit of that off, but I'm not. I want to keep it saturated. It lives in oil anyway, so it might as well have all the oil it wants. To the end here. Not sure what just happened. All right, all the plates are back in. Everything's slid in nice. Looks like it's the way it's supposed to be. So far so good. Now I gotta open up the spring conversion kit plate, get that out of the package, and just double check everything, and we'll get that installed and should be able to wrap this up. Alright, so this is the new plate, and it's got 2 different choices of springs. So gold springs, which is a lighter clutch, green springs is stiffer, but it says you can mix and match, so put half, alternating of the 2, and it falls somewhere in the middle. I'm gonna probably go with that for now. I can always pull it back apart and change that if I want, but for now I think I'm gonna try that idea. It says it gives it it's 33 pounds with it mix matched, 28 with the gold, and 42 or something with the with all green. So I think I'll just go somewhere in the middle, and hopefully that does the trick. So this should slide right on there. Just putting this adjustment screw in there, but I don't want to go too far yet. Just enough so it'll guide itself on there and line everything up. There it is. Slid right in there nice and tight up against the plates. Everything looks good, aligned perfect with the basket. Looks good. And it sure is pretty. Should have got one of those clear derby covers, but not today. So let's go ahead and put the springs in and cover and see what happens. So here's a green one, and then a gold one, and we'll alternate like that all the way around. Probably make it go faster. Kind of reminds me of a snowmobile clutch, to be honest with you. I guess that's it. Put this cover on, torque those screws down, and then do the clutch adjustment, and that baby be ready to rock. So pretty easy job, really. I'm just a little nervous because I've never done anything like this. I'm not a mechanic, but I like to learn, and the only way I learn is to do stuff. I could read 100 books and watch 100 videos, but until I actually do it with my hands, I don't really learn a thing. So glad I'm doing it. Next time it'll be real easy. So the directions don't say nothing about putting Loctite on these screws to hold this plate in, but it's a Harley, and I'm going to put Loctite on it. Because the last thing I need is one of them things rattling out or something happening and coming apart. Especially if we're out on the road, far away from home. Just don't need it. So a little Loctite never hurt nobody. I'll get these 6 screws in, torque it down to specs, and should be wrapping it up. So when you're tightening this plate down, you want to go kind of like doing the lug nuts on your car. You want to stagger one side to the other and crisscross. Just a little bit at a time, because you don't want to bend this plate. So I'm just 1/4 inch ratchet, just going a little bit at a time, going all the way around. Once I get it snugged up here, I got to torque it to, I forget what it says, but we'll look at that again here in a minute, and get it where it's got to be. But it goes pretty easy. I mean, if I got this right, this was really easy job providing I've done it right, and I think I have. So I thought it was going to be more difficult, but I tend to worry too much because I don't do this stuff a lot. But I mean, it seems pretty freaking easy to me. So I think you know, anybody with the right tools and some mechanical ability and a little bit of knowledge of what's going on here. It's not that big of a job. And luckily I have, over the years, gotten the right tools. And I did just go buy a new torque wrench, 2 new torque wrenches. So that'll be done correctly. Didn't want to just guess at it. So, a few more cranks on these. Oh, right there, snugged up on that one. We'll snug them and I'll grab the torque wrench and get them where they gotta be. That one's bottomed out. I don't think it's a whole lot of torque on them. I'll tell you, if this works good, I would have to say it's probably the easiest thing I've done on this motorcycle. It's easier than changing exhaust, because that can be a pain in the ass. Alright, just around here one more time. Everything seems to be snug. I don't think it's a lot of torque on it anyway, because it's just a freaking Allen head screw. The clutch adjustment rod spins in nice and easy, spinning it by hand, so that should be pretty easy. Get it in here to where it bottoms out. Right there, so I'll come back at that in a minute, but just run that into where you feel it make contact, and then I believe it's a half a turn back. Lock it down and you're adjusted, and then it's just adjusting your cable. We're not going to get to that tonight. It's getting late. I don't even know what time it is. Probably 10:30, 11 o'clock, but I'm going to get this buttoned up, get it adjusted. Oh, I can't. Well, I can adjust it somewhat, but get that primary cover put back on tonight, filled back up with oil, and then tomorrow will be a fresh start, changing the cable, the clutch cable, and then get everything adjusted up perfect and be ready to rip. I think the wife went to bed, so she probably wouldn't be real happy if I did it all tonight and fired this baby up in the garage, because the bedroom's right up there. So we'll just button up this job, get a good night's sleep, probably have a few more beers for that, and tomorrow throw that cable on and we'll be ripping. I'm gonna smoke the shit out of that tire before I get that new one. This clutch hooks up, I'm burning some rubber. So let me get the torque wrench and see what the specs are, and get it torqued down. So the specs say to torque those to 5 to 6 foot-pounds. My foot-pound torque wrench doesn't go that low, so it I believe it starts at 20. So I'm just gonna snug it up by hand. I mean, it doesn't need to be cranked too tight, and they have Loctite on them. There's pressure on the clutch, so it's not coming apart in theory. So just snug them up and we'll clean it up and get that primary cover going back on. Alright, we got them tightened down where I think they need to be. I mean, 5 to 6 foot-pounds isn't very much, so just pop the old gasket off. There's nothing wrong with it, but I have a brand new one, and I'm not going to put this old one back on. But, however, I will save this old one just in case. For an emergency someday down the road, something happens and I need it. You know, get me by in a pinch. So I'm going to hang on to that. But we'll get that surface around there wipe down and nice and clean the primary side of it and stick that new gasket in and we'll be good to go. Alright, clutch is adjusted, adjustment screws locked down, all those plate bolts are tight. I'm going to put this cover back on. Alright, we just slid that cover back on. There's 2 studs that, for one, hold the gasket on there, and 2, align that cover when you put it back on. So it's sitting there right now with no screws. So I've got my screws on my trusty plate. I know where they all go. And put a dab of, just a tiny bit of Loctite on all of them and get them started, but it's kind of a little tricky thing here because I'm going to be doing this and putting the inner primary powder coated cover back on at the same time, so it's going to be a little tricky getting it all started and moving at once, but I want to get one screw in the cover so the cover don't move. Maybe start a couple around the bottom where I don't need to worry about it for that other cover, but get them started, nothing moves, and I don't have to worry about jacking up the gasket. So let me go ahead and get some of them started and see where we go. I forgot to mention there is a pattern for this to tighten these bolts. Specific way you got to go about it. So I'm just going to get them in there somewhat close to snug, not quite snug, but, and then I'm going to grab that service manual and see the order and start getting them tightened up the way they're supposed to be. Alright, we got the cover back on, drain plugs in, got the service manual out. So for those primary cover bolts, they're 84 to 108 inch-pounds, and there is a sequence. So this is, I don't know if you can see that, but the sequence is right there. And it does tell you long screw or short screw in case you don't have the little cardboard cutout like I had there. I guess you could do it the way the book says, but so we're going to go ahead and get the torque wrench and go around and click these off and get some oil put back in there. Get her done. So this said 84 to 108 inch-pounds. So I'm going to split it and I'm going to go to 95. Alright, so there's 95 on my torque wrench. We're going to go right around the loop like it says to go, and should be good to go. So get this started. These things always make me nervous, afraid of breaking bolts off. Okay, there's a click on that one. That was number 1. And this is number 2. That was easy. 3. one made me nervous. Alright, they're all torqued. Just like Harley wanted them. So now, I'm going to pull that inspection cover off, fill her up with oil. Should be done. So, apparently, whoever had that inspection cover off last, probably me, I don't remember, put it on way too tight. I can't get the screws off. I don't want to break them, so I just took the derby cover off, and I'm going to fill the oil that way. That's how I usually do it anyway, but I'm just going to stick my funnel in there, and it takes 1 quart of oil, fill it back up, and be good to go. And it says, or I saw it on one of the videos, the oil that you soak your clutch plates in before you install them, it's new oil, so they say you can reuse it once you're done, put it in the primary, but I'm not doing that. It's a quart of oil, big deal. I'm putting a brand new fresh quart in. That other oil that I soaked them plates in is going to the recycling. So here we go with our quart of oil. Alright, so cover's back on, full oil. That's a wrap for now. Like I said before, we're going to finish this up in the morning. I want to get a good night's sleep before I tackle that clutch cable. Not sure what I'm getting into there either. Never done that. So we're going to clean up the mess here and get to the shower, get to bed, and be back at it tomorrow. See you then. Well, good morning. We're back at it here. So I finally got to bed about 1:30. A little tired this morning. Just looking at the video from last night. Some improvements I need to make with this video stuff. It's all new to me, so. And I'm not real tech savvy, so the whole editing thing I'm trying to figure out, and I don't know, I'll just post it unedited, who cares, take it or leave it. So we're back out here with the bike, and everything's up and ready for the most part. I gotta get the running boards back on first thing this morning, and I'm still debating this whole clutch cable debacle. It needs to be put on, but there's a lot to take apart over here, and I don't know if I'm gonna get into this today. So I got these black covers, they've all got to come off, and I've got to take the exhaust off, and that's what I'm not looking forward to, because I got to get to those couple of bolts down there. So I don't know, I'm still debating whether to save that project for another day or just get into it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna get these running boards on right now, see how I feel, and maybe take it for a test ride, see how it's working right now, and if I decide to get into that clutch cable, I will, but it still works for now, and it's going to be nice out today. I don't know if I want to spend the whole day tearing this bike apart again, so get them running boards back on and go from there. So like I was saying a minute ago, I'm not real good at this whole video making thing yet, but we'll get it. So my introduction to this video from yesterday wasn't real great. So I don't know, I'll get there, I guess. It's only the third video, I think, so hopefully you'll stick with me while I figure it out. But got a little Loctite on there. This is the rear running board, and we're gonna get that put on and get the front one on and see what happens. Rear running board done. Now we'll go get that front one on. Alright, front running board is on. These are just the stock running boards. Someday when I have some money, I want to buy the thrashing running boards, but that's what I got for now. So it's back on. I'm just going to look everything else over again, make sure I didn't miss anything, and then probably take it for a test ride, see how I did. I'm still debating whether to do that cable today or not, but we'll see. Alright, I got everything back together. Clutch cable adjusted. Again, it's the old cable. I'm just going to roll with that for the time being. But, get some shoes on here. We're going to give it a little test rip. See if the clutch is done right. Otherwise, I'll be back here tearing it apart again. But hopefully it's right and goes smooth. We'll see here in a minute. I'll go check it out and I'll be right back. Alright, we just got to the end of the neighborhood. Everything feels real tight and no slop, nothing sound funny, so it seems like it's good. 25 mile an hour coming out of the neighborhood, so I haven't been able to really come onto it yet, but we're gonna now. And hopefully it's all good, so here we go. So far, so good. Getting a lot more power to the rear wheel now. I just took off real hard and no slip at all. So we're going to do that again and see. Nothing's leaking, nothing's rattling, everything feels real tight. So I think we're good. I'm going to hammer it one more time and make sure it's not slipping and hopefully don't burn out instead. So here we go. Well, I just pulled over here for a minute. Like I said before, I'm no mechanic, but I'm not sure what was wrong with the other clutch or what was going on, but this thing feels right now. I'll tell you what, puts the power to the wheel. I could burn the tires so easy, but with it being so bald, I don't want it to kick out from underneath me. But that's not really the point of doing the clutch. I'm not trying to do burnouts, but it feels so much better. No slip at all. So again, I really don't know what was wrong with the other one. No idea, but I don't know. I'm just gonna check it out real quick make sure no oil leaking or nothing. Everything's good. I don't see anything, so out here by this little pond for all you people up north. Saturday morning, like 10 o'clock, and I'm in a t-shirt. It's freaking beautiful out. So out here by this little pond, pretty nice little spot. I'm actually going to stop videoing for a second, take a picture, and get back to the house, and I'll get back to you. Alright, I just got back from our test ride. Super stoked. That clutch feels perfect. So, I think we did everything right. And seems to work alright. Shout out to Barnett clutches. No sounds, no slippage. Seems really perfect. So, with that, so I'm sorry I didn't do a better job with this video, but just getting started here, so I'll get it figured out. But anyways, little part we didn't share yesterday was I took that front wheel off and cleaned it all and cleaned the rotors, took it all apart, and checked the brake pads on the front, and all is good. So that's that. So next video will be probably next weekend, doing the back tire. It should be here sometime this week, I hope. The clutch cable I'm not going to do for now. It feels real good the way it is. It's not terribly stretched out where I can't use it, so I'm just going to run it for now and let that clutch get broke in and see where it goes, and I'll attack that another day. Hopefully when I have a reason to take the exhaust off, so I don't have to do it for nothing. But that's that. And I'll get this video uploaded and out there. And till then, keep the shiny side up and ride the adventure. See ya.